Okay, we'll get started. Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar by Skyjed. Today we'll be talking about simplifying the product data exchange process with suppliers and distributors. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to your speakers today. We have some of Skyjed's leadership team and we're your hosts. So today we have Helen Saganos, who brings a wealth of product leadership wisdom and leads Skyjed's roadmap.
Hi, everyone.
And we have Dr. Lisa Marini, our ESG expert, and works with our clients to incorporate sustainable agendas.
Hi, everyone.
And I'm Sue Sivam-Raja. I specialise in optimising client experiences with a wealth of experience in relationship management. So I'll just take you through our agenda today. Lisa will take you through a journey on decoding the current challenges we're widely seeing with product data exchange, along with sharing key industry insights on how to tackle this head on. And Helen will draw on her experience sharing 2 industry case studies. And then I'll be sharing how Skyjed solves these problems with a showcase and walkthrough so you can see how we can help you simplify this process. And we'll have a chance for Q&A, so feel free to post any questions you have on the chat area of your screen. So I'll just hand over to Lisa.
Thanks, Sue. So I start by sharing here how we see data exchange at Skyjed. So data exchange is much more than sharing data across teams and departments or with your partners' organizations. So data exchange is the starting point for enhancing collaboration and accountability. So thanks to data exchange, you can actually unlock value across product life cycles. And we all know that such data is a strategic resource, so its management is a key issue. What we have been seeing with our clients is that lifecycle management combined with data exchange can help organizations to remain competitive under a variety of scenarios. So what do we mean by lifecycle management? It is about managing a product from end to end. And I'm saying here product, but it could be a service, company, policy, or initiative. And what happens is that throughout the whole life cycle, it's very critical to be able to exchange, analyze, and report data. This data can, for example, be used for product reviews. These are very effective mechanisms that help you to promptly identify any risk mitigation or strategy pathways and make improvements. So before delving into best practices, let's have a look and acknowledge the challenges that most of us are facing. So our clients, regardless of size and sector, they are constantly having challenges when they exchange data with partners. And here are some examples. So having easy access to relevant and quality data, and also issues around manual data analysis, data gaps, and human error. In addition, when you have to deal with multiple data sources, it can happen that the reporting process is complex and time-consuming. And because of this, you are also finding more difficult to be ready to respond to compliance issues. And last, collaboration with partners and also aligning priorities and goals across organizations. When it comes to data exchange, it can be a very costly process and not always leading to the desired results. So it's important to be able to overcome these challenges it's a necessity in order to remain successful. And in fact, we also have seen that in the last few years, there have been regulations that have been pushing companies to exchange data throughout life cycles. So I mentioned here a few. So we have all the regulatory regimes that are setting higher expectations in terms of product governance and monitoring. Equally important are those regulations to enhance consumer trust and protection, such as consumer duty in the UK and also anti-greenwashing codes of conduct across the globe. Also, we have been seeing the proliferation of product and supply chain sustainability obligations, and think that over the last decade, ESG regulations have increased by over 150%. So all these regulations are dealing with immaterial ESG issues that, if they are not addressed properly, they can have a negative financial impact on companies, and, for example, cause reputational damage or undermining the trust of stakeholders, or also operational disruptions, and so on. Recently in the news, we had the Apple sentiment data that brought to light that the company is actually facing challenges with product governance. So at this point here, it's clear, the message is clear for companies to be prepared and equipped. So I quickly mention also a couple of market trends, and we see that consumers are changing their expectations in terms of multi-channels, and also there is a lot of innovation happening in digital technology, and all these again is demanding companies to uplift their distribution policies and strategies, and also channels and technology. Otherwise they would be left behind. So without going into further detail, I hand over to Helen, who is going to share with you some case studies on product data exchange.
Thank you, Lisa, and good afternoon, everyone. So firstly, in this segment, I'll be covering real-world examples of best practices in product data exchange, drawing from Skyjed's client experiences from the financial services and energy sectors. And whilst today I will focus on these two industries, Skyjed's solution applies and is transferable across a range of industry sectors, as shown, that experience very similar challenges. Our first case study delves into the financial services sector. And in recent years, the global financial industry has seen significant regulatory reforms geared towards bolstering consumer protection and addressing systemic risks. Regulations such as the design and distribution obligations, as well as consumer duty, exemplify this trend, which are all aiming to ensure financial products prioritise consumer interests and promote fairness and trust. And so to deliver this diverse range of products and services and navigate compliance to all the regulations, organisations like banks, credit unions, and investment firms rely heavily on their ecosystem of partners. Partners such as brokers, manufacturers, and financial advisors, for example, often have essential requirements in sharing both downward and upward data within their partner ecosystem. Now, it's equally important in this respect to highlight that in our experience with our clients, there is a breadth of partner models in financial services. Some of our clients may work with only 5 or 10 partners within their ecosystem, while others may work with 50, 100, or even 300 plus partners within their ecosystem. And the important point here is that regardless of the scale, each partner plays a critical role in sharing and collating product data and essential information. So let's unpack this a little bit more. I want to first premise that today the best practices I'm outlining were at some point managed the good old manual way. And many of us have been involved in many manual processes throughout our work life. And for many financial firms, the manual method has been the backbone of their operations, albeit with significant operational effort. But it's quite important to note in this scenario that manual processes are still widespread in many organisations. However, adoption of automation and BI tools is now growing. So let's just revisit the good old manual way. It's not really a walk in the park, especially when dealing with many dozens or hundreds of partners. Picture this: a small team of product managers, compliance or risk, or a combination within your organisation, and they're managing the partner communication model. And they're having to send really important documentation through endless email distribution lists with attachments. And then they're having to request for data using Excel or Word or email or shared drives. And don't forget the follow-ups. There's constant chasing of submissions through emails and phone calls, all whilst trying to keep track of the different versions and collating data for reporting and monitoring purposes, and just hoping everyone sticks to their deadlines. We know that's not easy to do. So as you can see, it's quite complex and it's riddled with risk. So let's talk about some of the best practices we're seeing. The first part of the best practices is that financial services organisations have to share important documents and artefacts to their partners. And in doing so, they've frequently encountered challenges internally within their organisation when they're having to prepare all the documentation, manage it through a process for obtaining feedback, version control, approvals, and then once that's finalised, they can then share that documentation with an audit trail to their partner ecosystem. And the best practices today that are doing this is leveraging digital technology with one tool to manage all life cycle aspects, including the development of the documentation, the approval, and the sharing of critical documents. And examples that we're seeing within our client base is that they're sharing documents such as target market determinations or designs, or other policy artefacts such as product disclosures or product catalogues. But there's quite a plethora of other documentation. There's organisation policies such as modern slavery policies or ethical business practices, whereby it's a requirement to ensure that your partners understand and commit to your policies. So let's flip to the other side of the coin. There's also a need to request and collate product data and information from your partners. And financial service providers often need data ranging from sales numbers right through to risk assessments, for example. Partners often need to provide data inputs for fair value assessments or regular product and customer experience monitoring, and include data pertaining to sales, policies, claims, pricing, commissions, reviewing vulnerable customers, cancellations and complaints, and risk assessments or RAG ratings are just some examples of what we're seeing. Many of our clients have now put in place automated systems in place to regularly request this information, ensuring that they can monitor their products and services effectively. Another crucial aspect with best practice is handling due diligence questionnaires and regular attestations. This involves assessing partners' practices with automated performance rating rules, including automated risk triggers. So, for example, there's often a requirement to check that your distributors or brokers are annually adhering to regulations or ethical standards. You may need to monitor commitments to frameworks like modern slavery and ESG practices. By integrating these questionnaires into your risk management processes, financial organisations enhance transparency, reduce their risk, and uphold standards and reviews across their entire partner network. And lastly, let's not forget about gathering and analysing feedback from your partners. This includes gaining valuable insights like market trends, product feedback, and new ideas. So just some of these examples shows the wide range of product data happening in this sector, and by using the right tool means less time spent on admin and more time diving into the insights. I'll now just cover the energy sector best practices. And just like in financial services, the energy industry relies heavily on partners to keep things running smoothly, including a number of different service provider models such as distributors or channel partners. Now, some of the best practices we're seeing in the energy sector for sharing information has largely centred on sharing product programs and offers with their associated attributes specifically for their channel partners. For energy providers, this is a key use case in ensuring that their channel partners have the latest and greatest associated with protocols or policies. Now let's talk about the flip side of requesting information from partners. Again, best practice is usually focused on due diligence questionnaires or data scorecards. These requests ensure that partner organisations meet the required credentials across different programs and enable organisations a method to monitor and track. It also extends to data scorecards where partners provide key inputs for asset valuations, joint venture assessments, or risk assessments for new projects. In a nutshell, the practices I've covered today apply across a wide range of industries. And whether you're in finance, energy, or any other sector, these practices can help streamline your operations, boost transparency, and fuel your growth. So, what does success look like when it comes to product data exchange? And for me, achieving success is akin to oiling the gears of a finely tuned machine and leads to smoother and more efficient operations, having your team work on the right strategic initiatives, enhance decision-making accuracy, and strengthening your partnerships. Imagine your organisation seamlessly sharing and exchanging data with your partners and suppliers consistently, enabling you to make better informed decisions with insightful reporting while simultaneously reducing your risks and your operational effort. So, with that in mind, I will now hand over to Sue to provide a more detailed showcase.
Thanks, Helen. So all the success that we've talked about with product data exchange isn't really as complex as you might expect. We're seeing a common theme of organisations going through a transformation to automate and digitise product lifecycle management that includes product data exchange. So adopting technology and business intelligence tools are enabling organisations to improve business outcomes by optimising efficiency, saving time and costs across their organisation in a secure way. So we're seeing clients make strategic and dynamic data-driven decisions, identifying trends and patterns quickly. And this automation provides an early warning trigger and overall improves innovation, which is a key trend for organisations at large over the next 5 years. So to incorporate successful business intelligence tools, I'll briefly introduce you to Skyjed. Skyjed's an AI-powered product lifecycle management platform. Organisations are using Skyjed to implement their product governance frameworks for effective management of their products and services. Now, today, I'll showcase what product data exchange looks like with partners, distributors, and suppliers. We integrate into siloed data systems to unlock data, giving product teams direct access to their performance data and charting those into reports and insights, giving them data-driven decision-making. Now, we have a range of industries, as we've touched on today, where Skyjed helps to manage their products from ideation to sunsetting, with benefits seen within 90 days. Now, today's focus is on Skyjed's Connect module, where organisations can connect secure product data exchange with their distribution partners. Organisations can link, share, and receive product data, and our clients are making pragmatic product improvements within that 90 days of onboarding, and all the data is available as reports too. So let's deep dive into Connect. There are essentially 3 steps: sharing information, receiving information, and analysing that information. So we'll start with sharing information to a group of distribution partners. I'm using an example here today of a target market design document that I want to share. At the click of a button, product teams can share to hundreds of partners, suppliers, or distributors. And this one action eliminates any email transfer, links to URLs, and use of shared drives. And the development of this document and sharing all occurs in this one centralized location. And when you share information to your partners, they'll see a version of Skyjed and the information that you've shared, which can also be exported. And now just to showcase how organizations receive information from your distribution partners. With our Connect module, our clients are pre-configuring their regular review cadence, and when they want to receive this data collection, be it weekly, monthly, you set your cadence. The distribution partner will receive a notification to provide the required information back to the organisation. And again, using a version of Skyjed, the partner can begin to populate the required information. In this structure, the product data is consistently fed back to the organisation, and sharing back this info takes minutes, as you've just seen. So just a quick view of 3 different responses back from partners. You can receive this information back for a number of partners, as our clients do. You can drill down to each of their responses and view the audit trail for each. And now for our clients, the real value of digitizing, automating this product data exchange is accessing the collated data received by these distribution groups. There can be a range of metrics with hundreds of responses, and having this view is a true game changer. Here I'm sharing a collated view of data received from my distribution group and what it can look like. I can view the sales of my product, compare against previous reporting periods, look at the percentages and sums with calculations done in Skyjed. And as this data comes direct from the source, the data is accurate and reliable to make those performance improvements. And to analyze the data coming in, making data-driven decisions using Skyjed's reporting, you can drill down on metrics and export for stakeholder reporting. And our clients are saving more than 90% of time spent on number crunching and spreadsheets. So the power of digitizing processes like this and using tools like Skyjed is super powerful. And this is really just a snapshot of what you can do. There's so much more you can actually optimize in Skyjed. So I'll just do a quick recap on what we've learned today and the key takeaways. In using Skyjed for this widespread pain point, the power in centralizing and automating product data exchange as a process in your product lifecycle management is absolutely critical. Our clients' teams integrating into data silos, we're seeing an average of 6-to-1 consolidation of tools with an ROI of 6 months. And this really stems from accessing reliable data consistently. And streamlining information in this method from your partners using consistent parameters saves time across their product monitoring. And as we've shared today, reporting is so much easier when the data is directly linked to your distribution partners, enabling that huge time saving of 90% of time in preparing those reports. And interestingly, I often get asked, how hard is this to set up? And believe me when I tell you that we have clients onboarded between 4 to 6 weeks using our customer success onboarding programs. So look, I think we've shared quite a lot of insightful information. So what we'll do now is just open up for some questions. Do we have any questions in the chat? No, I think... Sorry, Helen.
Not in the chat, but I think we've been sent some from the UK participants. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I'll go straight to those. Look, so one of the questions I get asked through onboarding a lot is how successful do you find some of these teams are at adapting to change and that technology adoption? And look, the best answer for that is I've really not encountered many issues with that because onboarding clients with a particular goal and a focus just forms part of their product governance transformation. So the use of Skyjed is really embedded into their governance procedures and policies. And having the audit trail and using our collaborative features just enable the adoption of these, and it's quite easy. So there are certain parameters that they would consistently use every day or every week or whatever their cadence sort of is. You get the notification, so it's a very streamlined approach. So the adoption to technology for a new process is quite easy. And then with clients, we just see the value and time saving of all of that occurring within the 90 days. So the power is in that adoption of that short period. And we do have change management modules, and it's part of our customer success framework. Okay, so I think we've got another question. Have you measured, how do you measure that ROI?
I can touch on that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a good question. So we have conducted a number of case studies with also our clients, and we see that typically clients achieve ROI in less than 6 months, how Sue was mentioning earlier. And the value is mainly in time saving and also higher value business growth strategies. In addition, like a really good point is that clients can gain insights that maybe previously they couldn't access or access data that was locked. Mm-hmm. So this is pretty valuable.
Okay, there's one more question that we probably have time for. How does Skyjed incorporate AI? And Helen, I might send that over to you.
Yeah, okay. So Skyjed has had AI for about 5 years now. We developed a unique AI engine with our own algorithms where we assess product performance data over time, and we assess it over key areas of product health. We have what we call 6 domains of product health, and they range from revenue, value, innovation, customer experience, sustainability, and regulatory. And so we streamline that product data, we monitor and analyze that, and it covers both financial and non-financial metrics. And so that in itself provides a product health report and helps to channel users to see where their areas of risks are and where their areas of opportunities are. And you can monitor that over time. So that's how Skyjed is incorporating AI, but we're obviously building out a more extensive AI roadmap as well.
And if you have any questions, building the roadmap is all with Helen, so feel free to connect and ask us more questions about that.
Yes.
So look, I'll just wrap it up here. I'd like to quickly let you know that we've recently introduced a bundle package to manage the life cycle of your products and product data exchange with your partners. So please get in touch with us to learn more, or if there's any more content you'd like to connect with us, here's our email address, and please connect with us. And a quick side note, to look out for our next webinar on the very hot topic of how to get started with responsible life cycle management and avoid the risk of greenwashing, which obviously is a really broadly discussed topic at the moment. So we thought we'd talk about that in the webinar. So we hope to see you there. So just look out for the invite. So look, thank you very much for attending today. We'll be sharing the video link with you later today. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.